Let's take 30-second meditation. Take off your specs. First, take off your specs, everybody. Close your eyes. Fold your hands. Concentrate on Almighty God and express your thanks and gratitude for everything you've got in life. Take your parents' blessings by touching their feet mentally. Feel that all positive energy entering your mind and becoming stronger. Whatever we discussed today, we shall remember forever. Rub your hands. Touch your eyeballs, touch your cheeks, and open with a gentle smile. So that was a 30-second micro meditation, and it is very useful for concentration of mind. It's very useful for concentration of mind. All of you have attended my classes in Guwahati Commerce College, but at that time you didn't find me this way. But after few years of that, when you left, just a second. I used to do these steps of meditation there with the students every class. 30-second meditation I had to do because it helps to concentrate the mind, and mind actually most important thing. Mind matters most. And you've seen what you just give me 1 or 2 minutes to describe why I have done these steps of meditation, why I do these steps of meditation with the students, because the mind is the most important thing. Mind matters most. And in my sloka, in my chanting, you've seen I've said concentrated Almighty God. You have to believe there is some Almighty God. You have to believe it. If you say I am Nastik, then also you have to believe it. There is a superpower for which there is sun, moon, day, night. We have come to this world. All these things, nature is giving us food. All these things are there. And I have said that concentrate, take blessings of your parents by touching their feet mentally. Right now your parents are not with you. They may be away from you right now. But you can mentally, you touch their feet and take their blessings this way mentally. And promise that whatever you discussed with you shall remember forever. Because when you do this closing of eyes for 30 seconds, you forget everything, you cut off from the world and you concentrate to yourself. That's the most important thing. And parents are the most important factor in your life. You have not seen any God or goddess, but parents, you have seen they are the most important God and goddess, which you have seen. Everybody has seen parents. So I have asked you to take blessings of the parents by touching their feet mentally. That's the most important thing. And parents are the source of energy, source of our life, source of inspiration, source of everything. So take care of the parents and concentrate this to the feet of the parents. Take their blessings. Because parents' blessings matters most. And Almighty God, please remember, and your mind is concentrated because you see the sun is so hot, but when you go to the sun, sun cannot burn you because sun is scattered. Sun is scattered, so sun cannot do you anything. But take a magnifying glass and put the sun ray, pass the sun ray to this, your skin will be burnt, your paper will be burnt, your cloth will be burnt. If you do this with a magnifying glass, the sun focuses the sun ray, and it becomes, it can burn. So similarly, when your mind is scattered, because mind is bigger than the sun, and mind is bigger than the universe, mind is bigger than Sarga Marta Patal, because mind is the biggest thing, because anytime you can concentrate, you can find out anything in mind. Suppose you think of aeroplane, come to your brain. You think of America, it is there in brain. You think of Ukraine war, it is coming to your brain. Anytime, whatever you think, coming to your brain. And you think of your parents, fit is coming to brain. So mind is very much scattered, and anything can be coming to mind, anything and everything when it comes to mind, then you cannot do anything actually. You cannot do anything because mind is, when it's scattered, you cannot do anything. So focus the mind. That's why this meditation, these steps of meditation helps to increase your concentration power, and concentration matters most. How to focus, you discipline your mind and focus on a particular thing. Then you can excel. Just like the sun ray cannot burn us when you go to the sun ray, but when you pass it to magnifying glass, it burns. Similarly, like that, when mind is scattered all over the universe, you cannot do anything. You remember this, that, like that. So you need to focus the mind to a particular thing, and that thing you can absorb easily. Research and publication ethics. Research, you are doing PhD. So after you do research, then you have to publish. because publication, the main purpose is that after the research, whatever you have found from the research, you should let the other people know it, so that the society gets benefit out of it. Whatever be the research, whatever be the research, it may be your PhD research, it may be scientific research, it may be without doing PhD, you are doing some research, maybe you are doing some new product, some invention, some new machinery, you are finding some software you are doing. Everywhere there is research. So after you've done the research, you have to find the findings, and after you get the findings, those findings, whatever comes, and with the recommendation, this should go to the public beyond you. That is publication. Because without publication, no research is having any meaning. It is all meaningless if you do your research and you cannot publish. That's why I advise you all from the beginning that you do PhD in such a manner and you make your thesis in such a way that your thesis becomes excellent at the end and it can be published. There are many people who do PhD, get the degree, and their thesis is left in their darkness and never published because they are afraid of getting it published for different reasons. They are afraid because they might have copied from some places. Simple. So you should, I am advising all of you to do PhD thesis in such a manner, do it in such a manner, PhD thesis, that one day you can publish it boldly without fearing anyone. So for that, you have to follow some ethics. You have to follow some ethics. It has been seen that many people publish in their own name something which is copied from other people. And these things are happening all over the world. That's why the question of ethics is there. And what is ethics? Ethics is the essence of all the religions put together. Ethics, the righteousness. Ethics is the morality. Ethics is the truthfulness. Ethics is honesty. So in publication, there's some ethics. So what is publication ethics? I have described this thing I taught you earlier, but I'm just recapitulating for 1 or 2 minutes so that everything, whole class comes to your brain today. I'll complete the whole class today, this block I'll be completing. So just, it will be better to touch these things also. So publication ethics refers to rules of conduct to be followed while publishing a result of scientific research or other scholarly work. Any research, whatever research you do, there will be some result, and those results must be published. And for publication of the result, there should be some rules of conduct. There should be some, those are ethics. Those are ethics. Publication ethics protects intellectual property. You understand what is intellectual property? But one person has done research, and it is his property. Findings belongs to that person. But other person copies. So that will be publication, intellectual property right will be violated. And there may be anything, there may be any consequence may be there. So publication ethics protects the intellectual property. Because if there is no publication ethics, then what will happen? Then people will lose interest in research. Because some people who are very good in research, they will stop working. They will say that if I find something, some other person will be copying it. So why should I do it? So this way, civilization will be going backward. Publication ethics forbids the republication of another's work without proper credit. Yes, you can refer to other person's work. You can refer to other person's work, no problem. But then you have to give proper credit. That is comes the reference. That is comes the bibliography reference. Here comes. So you have to, since you are doing PhD, these are the minimum things you have to know. And it is not something theory I am doing. You have to do it practically in your thesis, in your research papers. So I am doing it, that's why it is including the coursework. So next one, publication ethics. What is the importance of publication ethics? It promotes aims of research such as knowledge, truth, and avoidance of error. You understand? Why publication ethics is essential? It promotes the aim of research. It promotes like knowledge, truth, and errors can be avoided if there is some ethics. It prevents fabricating and falsifying and misinterpreting research data, and promote truth and minimize errors. You understood? Let me go first because I had already explained these things. It promotes the values that are essential to collaborative work. Yes, such as trust, accountability, mutual respect, and fairness. These are all, collaborative work. because you are doing some research and there is no research collaborator with you. Suppose apparently there is no co-researcher with you, maybe, but you think the whole world is your collaborative partners. You think that way. Whole world, mankind is your collaborative partner. You think that way. What you are doing, then other person is doing, let everybody do something or the other, and one person's work should not be copied by others. That is collaboration. Suppose I have done some research and you should not copy it. You should remember that I am your partner in the world. In this whole global world, everybody is partner. That's why it's collaborative work. Collaboration one means that two organizations coming together for collaboration, two persons doing joint research. That is easy to understand. But here, collaborative work is, I understand, the whole world, everybody is there in the world. Today, who are the person in the world, all are our partners. Think that way. You should not copy others. But yes, you can refer to them, you can take little ideas from them. That is also essential. That publication ethics ensure that researcher can be held accountable to the public. If there is ethics, then if anybody copied, they'll be held liable to the public. So, role of public authors. What are the roles of public authors? Authors should double check the research paper in detail for accuracy in calculation, data presentation method, and analysis of doubt. You have to do that. Ethically, you do that so that you find out your mistakes. Authors must ensure that their ethics was carried out ethically and has adhered to relevant regulations. Suppose Girijanand Chaudhary is doing PhD, having PhD course, we are having some guidelines. If you don't follow the guidelines, then also you are missing the ethics. You have to follow the guidelines of this university. And different university may have different guidelines. Remember, some guidelines are common, UGC guideline common for everybody, but still some universities may have different type of little bit different guideline, maybe there. So you have to know those guidelines and follow those guidelines. Authors must follow regulation of academic journals in peer review and editing and publishing. There are peer review journals, then your work will be, research paper will be published there. There also you have to follow their regulations. You have to follow their regulations. That is also part of ethics. Authors must submit manuscripts that are original and not submit the same paper to more there. See, one more thing, you are saying, sir, I have not copied from anyone, but I have copied from my work only. I had published one work last year, and that work I have again copied and published this time. That is also unethical. That is also unethical. That will be, self-plagiarism. You can refer to your work a little bit, just like you refer to any other person's work in literature review, but not totally copying. Suppose I found when I was doing some seminar in Guwahati Commerce College, I organizing this, some people send me papers and I checked it, the plagiarism, and I found that person's paper is already published somewhere else, and that person is given the same paper. I rejected, I didn't publish it, because that is also unethical and that is self-plagiarism, equally punishable. Authors should submit data, regulations, procedure, software, lab note, other information when requested. Author should give it to the editor. When editor will be asking you where have you got this data, which software you used, you should be in a position to supply this. And you can do it if you have done the work genuinely. If you copied other person's work, you cannot give these things. So these are the things, role of the responsible authors. Researcher must record procedure and result faithfully and systematically. Store the evidence. They must systematically store the evidence. I'm just going a bit fast. I'll take up your questions if you have later on. If at any point during the peer review, we're doing publications, so just I've taken this thing. Reviewers or the journal editor request the evidence. The researcher must be able to prevent it. What is it? If at any point during the peer review, reviewers or the journal editor request the evidence, the researcher must be able to present it. Suppose you have sent a paper to a particular journal and the journal wants some information from you regarding this article. You must be able to present it. If you have copied from someone else, then you won't be able to present it. But you have done it yourself, then you can present everything. That is also ethics. And then, if there are any limitations present in the work, the researcher must indicate. See, when you do your whatever class I'm taking here, this everything I can visualize in your thesis, because I have done my PhD. I have done several people's PhD theses. So, and you are going to do it for the first time. But whatever I'm teaching you, everything I can see in the thesis. Because when you make the thesis now, then you give a chapter limitation of the study. Same thing. And I'm saying here. So when you do some research paper, there may be some limitation. You have to mention those limitations. The authors must ensure that the manuscript submitted is original and creative and has never been published in any other language through different medium. So some people, they publish the same thing different places. And when you publish a research paper, you get some mark, API score. Suppose in one research paper, you may get 1 mark, 2 mark. So that will be helping you to get a job in college universities. Now, if you publish the same paper in 2 different places, you are getting double mark. That is unethical. That is unethical. Someone does it now in different languages, change the language of the same research paper published in more than one place. Unethical. If the journal editor wishes to publish a manuscript previously published in another journal, he or she should obtain permission from the copyright holder. Yes, that's very important. The fact that the article has been reprinted should be disclosed with source of original publication. Maybe that sometimes you have published one article somewhere, and then for some reason you are again publishing the same thing somewhere else. Then you have to take the permission of the original editor. That's it. Wishes to publish a particular previously published and another journal, then you have to collect the permission. Like I wrote a book some years back, and that book I want to republish in some another place. So I have to take the permission of the earlier publisher. So these are the things. Role of publishers. See, so long we have discussed role of authors. Now I am doing role of publishers. Even publishers are having some role, and that is also coming under ethical background. So are you understanding? Please tell me. My voice is audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, clearly understanding?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Enthusiastic?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Research, see, regarding authors I have done. So now publishers. Publishers should require authors to confirm that they and their co-authors all meet journal's criteria of authorship. That you three and I, we have sent a paper to Lala Rural College that may be published. So same thing you can see here. We must confirm that we are fulfilling the criteria. That is the thing. So that is the responsibility of the publishers also, and responsibility of us also. Publishers should consider requesting that authors provide a short description of each author's contribution in an acknowledgement. See, this is very important. It has been found in some other place I can teach you. It has been found that many cases I found this, you shall also find. And with me, enmity has been done with a lot of my friends. So what happened, when one person writes a research paper, some other person without doing any work just give the name there. That way. Suppose you have done the work and your friend is giving the name only without doing any work. That is also unethical. That is also unethical. So see, the publisher should consider requesting the author providing a short description of each author's contribution in an acknowledgement. When you publish something, give some acknowledgement, it may be book also, then you write there which co-author has contributed what. then that is ethical. But it has been found that many research papers are there, people add their names by giving money also maybe without properly working anything, without doing anything. So these are dangerous. Publishers should ask corresponding authors to confirm they have received written authorization from all their co-authors. So publishers should ask the author to confirm, to give authorization that everybody has worked. Publishers should check plagiarism and inform the authors. When I published my proceedings of seminar of 2018 in Guwahati Commerce College, it was a national conference and I was the coordinator. So I was the organizer. So what happened at that time, I got papers from different sources and I was asked to make a collection of publication. Then I checked plagiarism. I found many of the research papers, they have sent full of plagiarism. Actually, as per rule, maximum 10% plagiarism is allowed. More than that is illegal. So I rejected many of the research papers on that ground. Journal publishers must not attempt to influence journals' ranking by artificially increasing journal metrics. So there are some journal publications, some journal publishers, what they do, and these days in modern days, full of such people are there. Many people are there like this at modern days. You'll find lots of people are doing what they're doing, They are just taking money from the research scholars, huge money. The processing charge is okay, but huge money they take. And after taking them, they publish all substandard paper also. And then that journal becomes hot cake in the market. It increases their, journal metrics. They increase their impact factor so that they can publish more journals and earn more money. This is also unethical. Then role of editors. So we are going one by one. We have done role of authors, role of publishers, now role of editors. These are the people connected with the research publication. So I've taken separately all of them. The editor should ensure that peer review process is fair, unbiased and timely. You must have seen when you have sent the paper to Lala College, if they publish, they will send it to some other person for checking. So that is known as, peer review. So even I do sometimes of other universities. So that peer review is very essential. They should be unbiased. When you send the paper for peer review, then you do one thing, give some code number and strike off the names so that the person who will review should not know the original writers. That you do something, that is known as blind review, unbiased review. These are the things are responsibility of the editors. Research articles must typically be reviewed by at least 2 external and independent reviewers. And where necessary, the editor should seek additional opinions. So editor, when you can have conference in your institutions. Then when you go for publication, then those research research papers, you send to some people for research, at least 2, 3 like that, independent reviewers, and then take their opinion and then review. Don't depend on your own judgment. Then editor shall select reviewers who have suitably expertise in relevant field, taking account of the need for appropriate, inclusive and diverse representation. See, you send the paper for review to such people who have expertise or efficiency, competence in that area. This is very simple to understand. The editor should evaluate manuscript for their intellectual content without regard to race, gender, sexual orientation, religious belief, ethnic origin, citizenship, political philosophy of the authors. This is a very important thing. When you publish some research papers, you should not see on the basis of religious faith, belief, on the basis of language or gender or citizenship. That is unethical. So you should be neutral to all. If the paper is good in quality, you publish, whatever be the religion or language or gender of the person is. So this is the thing. That's the role of the editor. Then editors should ensure confidential handling of the manuscripts. Confidential handling of the manuscripts, with no details being disclosed to anyone except the peer reviewer without permission of the author. See, many cases you are coming in the research field, no? You shall face these things when you send a research paper to some publisher, and if that publisher sends it to some other person who will change little bit and publish it in his or her name, then what will happen to you? These things are also there. You send some paper to some publisher, and that publisher is unethical, dishonest. He sends it to his own person, again earning money from. These things are going on. You need not pay money, your paper will be published in your name. You need to pay money, but need not do work. Because that person collects, borrows, steals the work of other person and publish in your name. These things are all unethical things. Editors should ensure from all who carry out peer review on behalf of the journal understand and adhere to the needs of confidentiality relating to the peer review process. You have understood? And these points you say respect the confidentiality of peer review and not discuss the manuscript or contact of authors or any, you can understand, any other person about the manuscript. Provide an objective and constructive explanation for the recommendation. Avoid requesting that the author cites the peer review paper unless there is a strong scholarly rationale. The editors should not reproduce information or any part of the manuscript under review to any of their work before publication by the author. Only agree to peer review manuscripts within their expertise and within reasonable time limit. You understood? So not to explain. And next I'll be taking, let me stop this video here. I'll be taking one more. This is very, very important for you. This is all about ICMJE. I'll be taking it some another view. I'm making the recording also in the mobile side by side so that I can give you can refer in future. It will be for your benefit. So 30 minutes almost over, and next 30 minutes I'll be doing another video. So International Committee for Medical Journal and Editors. About this we should know. So long what we have discussed, role of authors, role of publishers, role of editors. We have discussed what is publication ethics, and we have discussed also what is the importance of publication ethics. So all these things we have already discussed. These things will be, this question will be coming in your coursework. Please you have to prepare these questions. I'll be giving you the questions you have to prepare for your exams. But now let us go to this chapter, International Committee of Medical Journal Editors, ICMJE. Let us go to this point now. So ICMJE was established in 1978 in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, by a group of medical journal editors. So you understand why this happened? Why this happened? Because all over the world there's a problem of publication ethics. I think I told you one day that I'm stopping this video now.